Thanks for joining St. George News at 8. I'm Scott Beadle. The Brian Head fire continues to grow, prompting more evacuations. Tracy Sullivan has the details.
I think it's time to leave.
The Brian Head fire grew to 53,000 acres Tuesday, increasing by nearly 3,700 acres and threatening not only human life and wildlife.
On the fire, delivering some lunches to some guys, and I ended up coming down the road and saw this spawn standing in the middle of the road crying, and clearly he's not going to make it.
But now, Panguitch City's water source. The fire entered the city's spring Tuesday night, contaminating the residents' primary drinking water with smoke and ash. For now, Panguitch residents are dependent on the city's well for its water needs. County and city officials assure the public the water system remains safe. A red flag warning has been issued again today, with 30-mile-per-hour winds expected. Moderate weather conditions are forecasted as early as Thursday. Fire Information Officer Brandon Hampton said the fire continues to move at an unprecedented rate, comparing the timber fire to that of a grass fire. Hampton blamed the fast-growing spread in part on the dead trees infested by bark beetle. The largest fire burning in the U.S., costs are currently estimated at $11 million, with state authorities expecting the total price tag to come out to $20 million, possibly making it the most expensive fire in Utah. Officials continue to remain optimistic they will have the fire contained by July 15th, but it will be longer before it is controlled and into winter before the fire that allegedly began with a weed torch is completely out.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints weighs in on the upcoming vote on medical marijuana in Utah, urging members to use a cautious approach. A church spokesman says more research needs to be done before it is prescribed. Supporters of the ballot measure say the research has already been done and that continuing to delay legalization would further harm patients who could otherwise benefit from medical cannabis use. A recent poll showed approximately 73% of Utah voters support the initiative. The poll also claims over 60% of those polled identified as active LDS voters. In 2016, the LDS Church asked members to vote down recreational marijuana ballot measures in Arizona and Nevada. Representative Chris Stewart launches a school supply drive to collect items to help refugee children living in Utah. It's the Reaching Out to Refugees Back to School drive. It runs through August the 11th. Stewart says around 25,000 refugee children live in the state and many have little to no education. Items needed include backpacks, pencils, crayons, scissors, calculators, binders, folders, the usual list of school supplies. Supplies can be mailed or dropped off at Stewart's Salt Lake City and St. George offices. The local office is at 254 West St. George Boulevard, number 100, St. George, Utah, 84770. By the end of the 2016-17 school year, the Washington County School District had identified almost 1,200 students, grades pre-K through 12, who are considered homeless. As of last October, 2.8% of the 31,000 students were considered homeless. The McKinney-Vento Education of Homeless Children and Youth Assistant Act aids students living in homeless situations to enroll in school. The act makes it easier for students to gain access to school by providing immediate enrollment without having to provide documentation, such as birth certificates, a home address, or immunization records. Other services provided by the act include free breakfast and lunch and transportation to and from school. The Republican health care bill is undergoing a revision in the Senate after GOP leaders announced they would not hold a vote this week. Lana Zach has the latest from Washington.
Now that Republican leaders have pulled the Senate health care bill,
we will not be on the bill this week.
The number of GOP senators publicly announcing their opposition has nearly doubled. Now there's at least 9 defectors, but Republicans can afford to lose no more than 2.
I think the bill would have to be fundamentally changed, and tinkering around the edges is not going to be sufficient to secure my vote.
It may be an uphill battle. According to a new Marist poll, the Senate bill is supported by just 17% of Americans. And even among Republican faithfuls, support for this version of repeal and replace still lags at 35%. Underlying the debate, Obamacare. 5 years ago today, the Supreme Court upheld the legislation's individual mandate requiring Americans to buy health insurance or pay a penalty. And now the greatest consensus among Americans, according to the Marist poll, is to expand rather than repeal. 46% say they want legislators to change it so it does more. The question now becomes, how hard will Republicans push campaign trail promises?
We will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare. Have to do it.
Versus setting a new course.
We'll see what happens. We're working very hard. We've given ourselves a little bit more time to make it perfect.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by AWI Networks, smarter internet.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to you. Another hot, dry day out there today. Our temperature in St. George reached 102 degrees here late this afternoon. That's above that normal of 99. Our record high for the day, 113. Back in 1994 and last year on this same day, we were at 106. Here in St. George. Here's a look at some of those temperatures around our area. Again, upper 90s in most regions, even the triple digits here in southern Utah. 101 in Hurricane, 102 again the high temperature here in St. George, 107 Mesquite, 106 degrees in Vegas, 92 up in Enterprise, 92 degrees also the high today in Cedar City. Now overnight tonight we fall back into the mid 50s in Cedar City with mainly clear skies, otherwise upper 60s to low 70s around many of the other hometowns here from Hurricane to Mesquite to St. George. Northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we go through the day on our Thursday, really more of the same around Cedar City. Temperatures in the low 90s with partly to mostly sunny skies expected. West-northwest winds. Again, a little gusty out there up to 15 miles per hour around Cedar City. And in St. George and southern Utah, lots of sunshine expected. Those winds pick up in the afternoon. West-southwest winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And once again, shooting for a high temperature at about 102 across our area. Take a look at our headlines. And again, really not a lot of change to our forecast. Unfortunately, we're going to keep the sunny, dry weather and hot weather in the forecast here as we get into your Thursday. Very warm with lots of sunshine expected by Friday. And even into the weekend, I don't see a lot of big changes in our forecast. Maybe drop temperatures a couple degrees here or there, but again, not looking like any big cool down anytime soon as this hot, dry weather continues here across our area. And the reason why, high pressure continues to be in our region. Again, we're seeing a jet stream trying to bring some cooler weather back into parts of Utah, but unfortunately not going to make it this far to the south. It's going to stay mainly in parts of northern Utah, off into parts of northeastern Nevada. May see some cooling temperatures by about 10 to 15 degrees, but here in southern Utah, Arizona, southern parts of California and Nevada, still seeing that hot weather continuing as temperatures once again should be in the triple digits here the next several days. Here's a look at our high temperatures around parts of the area. Again, upper 80s to low 90s to our north around Cedar City, Enterprise, Newcastle. Temperatures low 90s. Again, sunshine, northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. 102 once again for the high in St. George, 101 Hurricane, and 106 in Mesquite. Full day of sunshine for our Thursday. Again, seeing lots of sunshine. Those winds a little gusty out of the north, northwest, and could be out of the southwest actually in southern Utah across our region. Now here's a look at our 7-day forecast for Cedar City. Again, 96 to high by the weekend on Saturday and Sunday in the low 90s. Even next week, we may see a few more clouds increase. July 4th right now, not bad. Cedar City looking like 95 with mostly sunny skies around southern Utah and St. George. Then, those triple digits hang around. We keep the 102 to 103 in the forecast here the next couple of days into the weekend. 106 on Saturday, 103 on Sunday. And then next week, 4th of July, looking like a hot one. Once again, 108 the high next Tuesday with sunshine and warm weather in the forecast through the next several days. Again, no relief for us, unfortunately. But if you do travel a little bit further to the north, at southern or northern parts of Utah, you'll be looking at 10 to 15 degrees cooler. So if you want to travel somewhere this weekend, that might be the place to travel. But
might not be a bad idea.
Might not be a bad idea, that's for sure. But we're going to keep the same weather here the next several days the way it looks.
All right, thanks, Chris. Still ahead, who's ready for a little rodeo? Since 1945, the Gunlock Rodeo has been entertaining guests with rodeo action featuring contestants from all over the West. This year's event will be Thursday through Saturday, feature both the classic competitions as well as some entertainment like the Donkey Watermelon Race. It's even a chance for kids to ride a cow and chase chickens. Shows will begin at 8 p.m. and tickets are $5. Children 5 and under are free, and dinner will be available for purchase at concessions.
All right.
Friday is Steak and Taters night.
Perfect.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you have a great night.